All right, we are now recording as well. All right, welcome everybody. So this is exciting. We are very excited to have you here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Allie Phillips. I'm the author of The Oily Crystal. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit more in detail shortly. But want to welcome Rebecca Hasey here of Silver Orange Boutique. And just to, I guess, get this kicked off, Rebecca, do you want to just do kind of a bigger introduction of yourself, and then I'll do an introduction of myself?
Yes, absolutely. So it's nice to see you guys. Thanks for taking your evening to spend here. My name's Rebecca. I'm the owner at Silver Orange Boutique, which is basically a fun shop where you can get roller bottles, essential oil supplies. I kind of started it 3 years ago when I was getting a little more involved with oils, when I realized that there was a lot of boring things out there to use. and I love color and fun things. And I just started making my own creations and bags and bottles and things like that. And my sister said to me, you know, you could be sharing this with people. You could maybe make a business out of this. And I went, wow, really? And so that's kind of when Silver Orange Boutique was born. And it's named after, I just love silver stuff. And orange is my favorite essential oil. So what else, right? And if you see my logo, which I can maybe show you later on the screen show, it has 7 little orange slices in it. And my sister is a graphic designer and she made that for me. And each of those orange slices are different. They're not just copies because there are 7 of us in our family. And I felt like this was a new family endeavor for us. And that's really a lot of where my priority is with my family. Now we're 8 because we had another baby last April. And so we say that Hannah's the little leaf on top of the orange logo. So just one of those funny little things to share. But I started using roller bottles right away when I got into essential oils because they were economical. My oils would last longer and they were easy to do. I didn't have to grab a carrier oil all the time. And my favorite thing about them was that they just looked really pretty. So I'd start putting stones in because stones are just so beautiful. I was always a rock hound picking those things up when I was a kid. And I started thinking like, what's the point of this besides just looking pretty? So I started to do some research on this and I ordered book after book after book. I spent hours and hours combing through the internet. And my takeaway from that is you can find anything about essential oils and stone crystals on the internet that says you could do whatever you want. But I knew that wasn't right, you know, so I'd order these books like hoping to learn about them. And I just have a stack of them and they didn't do any education. They didn't teach me anything. They would say, use this oil. And the next day, use this crystal. And then go back and use this oil and then do that and hold this, but nothing about combining them in any safe manner. So about a year or 2 into this business, I ran into Allie at a Young Living event, an oil event we were at together. And she and I got talking and she looked at some of my gemstone rollers and gave me a little, you know, information feedback and said, she was actually writing a book about them. And I thought, holy cow, that's great. So a little time passed and her book came out and I ordered that sucker right away. I sat down and read the whole thing and I had 2 huge reactions. One was, yes, I finally found what I've been looking for. And my other reaction was, no, this is bad because all my products are not safe, you know, like that, like elation of finding something that, you know, this nugget you've been looking for. And then like, how does this affect my reality? And I sat back and I went, I can't do this. I can't run a business that is supporting and selling and providing crystals and rollers that might be toxic or dangerous that aren't any good. And the pit of my stomach just kind of fell. And I sat with that feeling a few days. And then I got in contact with Allie and I said, hey, do you have a few minutes to talk to me? I could really, you know, I really could use a conversation with you. And she was so generous with her time, so informational. I connected with her right away and she educated me and I learned a lot. And so the first thing I thought was, these have to go. I got to get rid of this. I mean, it was for the financial aspect of my business, not a smart decision. But for my peace of mind and for me making myself a business that was trustworthy, that people could feel comfortable coming to and knowing they were getting the real thing and a good thing, that was like worth it for me. Like, that's it. There's no point for me running anything if it's not giving good quality products. So that's kind of where we are right now with that. I switched over 5 out of my 12 gemstone rollers were not okay. And those are my biggest sellers. Like, that's my product that everybody loves and gets. So it was kind of one of those hard decisions, but I knew it had to be done. So we did it, and I ended up with something that I think is just as nice and actually even more beautiful. And I feel so much better about it. So that's just a quick background on what Silver Orange Boutique is, who I am. And I think I mentioned I'm a mom to 6 kids. So some of them are pretty helpful, some of them not so much, but it's kind of a family business, and I don't know, it's a fun thing to do. And I really love learning about the stones through Allie. So you guys, it's a good thing you're here tonight, because I think you're going to go away with a lot of information as well. So I'll just hand it back to Allie, and then I'll chime in later. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I didn't even know that information about your logo. That's really, really cool. And what I love about that story, you were the only business to this day that proactively reached out to me and basically said, holy crap, I need to change my inventory.
Yep.
Will you help me? You guys, she was the only one, period, to this day. And other companies have my book, and they continue. I'm going to go on a rant. I'll tell you right now, Rebecca and I are going to do good cop, bad cop, and I know I'm going to be bad cop. So just brace yourself. I am probably going to go off on a rail here, but she was the only one, and she was proactive about it. To me, that is probably the highest ethics you can have in this industry. So huge kudos. So I've been tapping on her forehead for a while. I'm like, hey, we need to do a Facebook Live together. We need to do a whole bunch of these, and here we go. So we are doing it now. So let me introduce myself, and I can't help it. I love to show visuals. And usually my cat Rudy is sitting here on the back of my chair, just like on the photo there. But he is downstairs playing with a toy, because that's more important, apparently. So like I said, my name is Allie Phillips. I have been an attorney for 26 years. I'm a former prosecuting attorney. I have spent my entire legal career either in the courtroom as a prosecutor or teaching prosecutors. My specialty is animal abuse and how it links to family violence. So no wonder I sniff essential oils and play with crystals all day, because those are really hard topics. So I travel literally around the world. Well, maybe not now, but I travel around the world and I teach at conferences. I am also a published book author, not only in the animal protection and legal world, but I have published The Oily Crystal and The Oily Pet. And today I thought of another book. I'm going to have this whole oily series, so stay tuned. There's at least 2 more books coming. And I also founded and run a nonprofit that I created where I help domestic violence shelters create on-site pet housing. It's called Sheltering Animals and Families Together. And then I have my healing business called Manifested Harmony, which I've had, it's going to be 10 years and a couple of months I've had that business. So I am a holistic wellness consultant because I am certified as a master teacher in 3 energy healing methods. I am an advanced crystal master. What does that mean? That means that I have studied the science of crystals. I studied for 18 months with a science teacher about a decade ago and learned the science as well as the spiritual and the metaphysical part of crystals. So how I talk about crystals and teach about them in my day-long classes, it's very different. And that's why when Rebecca was looking for books, it was not a lot of helpful information out there. So I come at this very, very differently. So you put all that together. I'm a holistic wellness consultant. I'm also a certified health coach. I'm a Young Living brand partner leader. And just today, I partnered with healingcrystals.com, and I'm going to be a contributor, a weekly contributor on their social media pages when it comes to essential oils and crystals. So very excited about that. So I have been teaching about blending oils and crystals for about 8 years. And I put my teachings and my experience in the Oily Crystal book last year because there are two things that roller bottle sellers and essential oil educators don't know. Rebecca knows, but the rest don't seem to know. So I'm going to get to that. So we're just going to dive in. I'm going to give you a little like flash education. Rebecca's going to come in, show you what she's got, and hopefully we're going to be able to see your questions and answer them. So the one question I get is, why would we want to put crystals and essential oils together? Well, what you're doing is you're blending the vibrational frequency of both, and they're basically creating an enhanced wellness tool for you. So if you have never studied frequencies before, everything is absolutely made up of a frequency. Everything from your body to the computer or the laptop or the tablet that you're on, to this bookshelf here, to crystals, to essential oils, and to the air. Like everything is made up of a vibrational frequency and energy. And what I do is I teach actually physics principles when it comes down to understanding crystals. And I talk about 3 physics principles in this book. And trust me, I dodged science like you wouldn't believe. I say, like, this is a true story. I went to law school because there was no math or science on the graduate school exam. Otherwise, I'd probably be a medical doctor. But it's like, no, math and science, not my thing. So I ended up being a lawyer. But I love the science of crystals and essential oils. And so here is a quick description of how crystals synchronize with us and change our frequency. So there's this physics principle called the principle of resonance. And what that means is when you have a larger vibration, like a larger energy, another similar energy is going to synchronize with it. So the lower is going to synchronize with the higher. The smaller is going to synchronize with the bigger. That's the most generic, quickest way I can teach it. It usually takes me a half a day to teach the physics of crystals. What this does, this principle of resonance, is this lower or smaller energy will synchronize with the bigger. So I'm going to come to how this actually makes a difference to us. So I want you to keep that in mind about this lower energy and this higher, bigger energy. So let's talk about the energy of crystals. So crystals have, okay, I need a crystal. I got crystals everywhere here. All right, here's a crystal. This is actually a natural citrine. They are very rare. Most citrine is heat treated. It's okay, but I like the natural. Crystals have a fixed, repeating, crystalline structure. They are different than minerals like calcium, aluminum, iron, and they are different than the rocks that are out in your driveway in your backyard. These have a crystalline structure. It is fixed and it is repeating. I want you to envision snowflakes. And it's like snowflake, 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 snowflake. I mean, it's just a beautiful repeating pattern. Everything that has a frequency has what's called a base frequency. It's like, this is the frequency. Don't go any lower than that. Otherwise, you're going to change what it is. In a human, when we go below that frequency, we get sick and we change. Here's the thing about crystals. They don't change. There's no self-destructing them. They don't suffer from what's called entropy. They don't decay. They don't die. It's why these are millions and billions of years old. They were here before any living organism. They will be here at the end. I'm just trying to figure out who's going to take my crystal collection when I'm gone, because it's massive. I probably have 400 pounds of crystals in my house, and some of you on here have seen them. So the thing about crystals, they don't decay. We decay. Our cells grow and die, grow and die. A plant like lavender grows in the spring, dies in the winter, grows in the spring, dies in the winter. We suffer from entropy. These don't. So I want you to think about that principle of resonance when I talked about a low frequency and a high frequency. Guess who's low? We are. Guess who's high? The crystals. The crystals end up dominating our frequency, and we synchronize with them. Crystals do not change at the molecular or the atomic level. They don't. That's why they are so old. They are indestructible. And so through this principle of resonance and other physics principles, when we come into contact with a crystal, as well as with an essential oil, we begin to synchronize or resonate with, principle of resonance. We resonate with the crystal because it dominates us. So that is like the shortest way that I can explain it. Now, with you probably, if you really, have been using essential oils for a while, you may have seen these charts going around about frequencies of essential oils. And I love them. I can tell you they're dramatically out of date, dramatically out of date. They were 20 years old and our planet has dramatically changed. That's a whole different presentation. I can tell you that there is no standardized frequency of crystals because they are all different. There's no way that they can really test them. They are all dramatically different. So people ask me that all the time, what's the frequency of citrine? No one knows. We don't know. Hasn't been tested, and I don't know if it can. Now, when we look at essential oils and what we know about that principle of resonance, when something has a higher frequency, remember, it dominates the lower frequency. Well, a low frequency is a problem in the body. And the oils, if they are a higher frequency, they can help whatever is low in the body. So high frequency oils tend to assist an emotional issue, and a low frequency oil is helping with a physical energy. So here is the thing that other businesses and even essential oil social media influencers don't know. And I am really giving them the benefit of the doubt, because I know you don't know what you don't know. There are two things that they're not talking about, and that's what I talk about in my book. The Mohs hardness and the toxicity of crystals. Now, what the heck is that? All crystals are scored on a scale of 1 to 10 by the Gemology Institute. So you've probably heard that diamonds are the hardest substance. You can't scratch them. You can actually take like a nail that you would pound into a wall. You can take a nail and try to scratch a diamond, and you can't. It is a Mohs hardness 10. It is hard, hard, hard. Whereas a substance like talc, I want you to think baby powder. Talc is a 1. What happens when you put powder in water? It disappears, right? So here's the thing with crystals. The Mohs hardness has to be 6 or higher in order to go in liquid. 6 or higher. Who here knew that? Who here is like, oh yeah, I knew that. Like I was taught that in 3rd grade. Like nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this. So that's the first thing. The second thing is a majority of crystals are toxic. Just because something comes from the earth doesn't mean that it is good for us, because guess what comes from the earth? Heavy metals, aluminum, lead, arsenic, like things that can really harm us. A lot of crystals have aluminum in them. So chances are, if you are in the essential oil world, you are probably adopting a non-toxic lifestyle, and you've probably swapped out toxins in your home like aluminum-based deodorant, right? So why would you rub an aluminum-based crystal all over your body and soak it in an essential oil so that it goes into the oil and you rub it on your body? Again, nobody's talking about that. These are the two biggies. This is why I wrote my book, because I saw people who have an influence talking about black tourmaline, for example. You cannot put that in liquid and rub it on your body. You can't. You can hold it. It's a big difference. So I wrote this book to help you understand that. In the book, I tell you which crystals, not all of them, there's 4,500 crystals that we know of, but I give you kind of the popular ones that can go in liquid and the ones that can't, and I tell you why. But when I really talk to people, it's about, you really need to be intentional about why you want to blend a crystal and an oil together. You don't want to blend too many. You don't want to create a lot of confusion between the oil and the crystal. And so in the oily crystal, I give you a list of toxic crystals. I give you a list of crystals that are the Mohs Hardness safe crystals. And I do that because I am not going to name this company. I don't do that. I don't call out companies. They're well-intentioned, but this is faulty. I picked this brochure up a couple years ago at a Diamond Bound conference. And when I looked at it, I was horrified. And I attempted to have a conversation with them, and they were not interested in that. So, why is there streaks going across the screen here? I don't know why that's happening. That's strange. So if you look at this sheet, if you see N, N means no, cannot go in liquid. The red N, the crystal is toxic. The blue N, it is too fragile and it will break down in liquid. And at the end of the day, you never know what's on the inside of a crystal. So if it breaks down, there could be something toxic inside, even though on the outside it looks like it's safe. That's why it's got to be Mohs Hardness 6 or higher. So when I looked at this and I saw what they were offering, 70% of their roller bottles were toxic and unsafe, because you can't put labradorite and lapis lazuli. These are some of my favorites. You can't put ruby and sapphire and sodalite and blue calcite and aquamarine. You can't do it. But even to this day, I see people with an audience who have influence over us promoting these. And so I'm here, and Rebecca is here just to say, when you have this information, you can make good decisions. We can't stop these businesses from promoting toxic and unsafe crystals. Whether they know of this information or not, they're making a choice. So please do your own research. But I like to put this up just to let you know that there's some concerning information out there. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Rebecca, I am going to transfer this over to you so that you can show us what you have. So there you go.
Okay, great. Just a quick funny story. At the bottom of that sheet was turquoise. And turquoise was one of the stones that I used to offer in my roller bottles. And it was the one I was the most proud of, because I would say, I don't get junk, right? This is not dyed howlite. This isn't from Amazon. I order these from a tribe in South Dakota to make sure they're genuine. And like, it's the irony of that I was going out of my way to provide a quality, genuine stone, which was doing the exact opposite of what I wanted it to, intended it to do. But that also shows that one of the things I really care about is making sure the stones and the crystals that are in the roller bottles that I have are real and are genuine. So I personally have no way of looking at something and saying, is this real or not? So what I have to do is depend upon the companies that I purchase from and make relationships with those companies who are people I trust. So they are the sellers who they mine these crystals, and they're the places I've looked into a lot. And these are the guys that I feel are very trustworthy, can show me the origins of where the stones come from. It's not a seller on Amazon where amethyst and rose quartz are all the same price because, it's all just dyed whatever. So I just want you guys to feel assured that if you are getting Silver Orange Boutique gemstone rollers, that they're real. So, okay, so here's my, I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Let me share screen. I am not the greatest at doing this yet. So, there, can you see that?
Yes, we got it.
So I'm going to show you a few things that I have to offer you guys. And I thought the easiest way to do that would actually be on my website where they're all shown and I can show you how to get to them. So if you go to silverorangeboutique.com, that's where you'll find me. And see over here, that cute little orange, those are me and my kids and my little babies, the leaf on top. So that's Hannah. But over here under shop, there's a lot of categories. And if you want to get to the crystals right away, you're going to go down to Gemstone Collection, which, by the way, is another term that I've learned may not be entirely accurate. A gemstone is a higher quality crystal. So perhaps that's another change I may be making. But right now it's under Gemstone Collection. And if you go there, you can see, say right here, Celebrate You. I have 12 roller bottles that I offer. And they originally were all the birthstones for each month, but some of those months I couldn't get a safe birthstone, so we have a few celebration stones. But February, which is when we are now, birthstone is amethyst. So let's click on that. And you can see these bottles will have amethyst. They're not full, and they're intentionally not full because, again, I do see people who sell them full. But then I can't hardly put any of my oil in them. So I decided I'm going to keep my price point low and put 3 grams. So every bottle that I offer with the gemstones and these Celebrate You rollers has 3 grams of stones. People ask me a lot. So like this picture here, you can see that they don't actually, it's like, why is that full? And that one's not. They're actually measured. And I have an amazing support system with my family and my parents. And my dad has actually, he comes over and says, you got any stones for me? And he measures them out, and he's filled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these bottles for me. I think it's one of those things he enjoys doing. So I'm happy to have the help. So most likely you may have a bottle that was filled by me, but most likely they're my dad who likes to help. And he measures out these 3 grams. So these are the 12 different gemstones. What they are is, well, you can read that. I probably don't need to go over them. But that's how those are the 12 I offer. They each come with this card called the Celebrate You card, and they go around the month and the celebration or the birthstone. So there's February is amethyst. So that's one of the things that that's the most popular roller bottle that I sell. If you go down to page 2 here, you'll see that you go through all of them here. And after that, there is a Deluxe Collection, and that's one that comes in this really pretty box and has a little extra bonus bonus roller bottle with some stones. You have a funnel. There's a little EO key to help open and close, and it comes with a little insert that talks about the stones and the properties and what everybody wants to know, what oils go well with these. So you'll find that in here. One more thing. So here is Allie's book. I made up a set that's based on some of her recipes. So she has a section at the back where she puts some crystals together and has some recipes that go with them. And that's what this is. So these are just smaller little bottles, kind of if you want to start out with gemstones and you're not really sure what to do. So maybe get 3 little bottles and then you follow her recipe in the back of her book. So that's that. And then the last thing I'm going to show you on the Gemstone Collection are these. I love these. Okay. I have 5 of these. You are beautiful. You are blessed. You are loved. You are strong and you are worthy. So let's just open up the You Are Strong. What these are these gemstone sets, and they have a necklace. I actually have one on from the You Are Blessed. This is with another friend I met at the same show I met Allie at, and her name's Tanya, and she has TJE Design Studio. She's a jeweler, and she hand makes all these beautiful stones, these diffuser bracelets. We came up with an affirmation card. We have a scripture verse on them, and then you have the stone, or the rollers in the stone. And so there's 12 varieties of those. So I was really excited about these. I just love making people remind them of their worth and how precious they are. And it's just stick that card somewhere. Anyway, so that's those 5. Really love that. And then for the month of February, kind of have this little limited edition rose quartz where you get a carry stone, a pocket stone, stick in your pocket and remind you what your affirmation is. 2 roller bottles. This one has organic rose petals and heather. And then there's the rose quartz. So, I guess I'll show you one more thing just because I love these too. If you haven't been able to tell, I really love creating and making things, and I love them to be pretty. And I just want people to pick up my bottles and like feel good before they even put their oils on. So they're like, oh, there's that pretty roller. I want to use it, and you just feel happy and you feel good. I don't know. That's my intention with this. I think I need to rework the wording, but besides you just feel good. But these are really fun and pretty, and you can have gemstones in them. You get 1 gemstone roller, and then you get 1 botanical. And so if you look really close here, you can see, I'll just show you, gemstones, amethyst and moonstone. Well, guess what? You're not getting moonstone anymore because that's not a good crystal to use in essential oils. So over here in my description, you can see it says, oops, updated stone. Oh, it's clear quartz now, right? And now this one was changed from garnet to red jasper. So we want to make sure that we're only getting the best. So that's what I'm aiming to do here. I want to give you guys pretty stuff that makes you feel happy, brings you joy, just puts a little jump in your step. I don't know, that kind of thing. That's me. I'm into it for the looks too. What can I say? So, I guess that's it for that, Allie. I will give the screen back to you, or let me see if I know how to stop screen sharing. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. I do want to show you guys one more thing on here. I apologize. But I have some new ones. They're under this thing that says Let's Party. And what this is my sister, I mentioned earlier, is a graphic designer. And she makes all these party packages. So she's been doing this for our family for years. And she opened up an Etsy shop. So she's designed these different packages. And what I've done is made the favors to go with them. So this is a baby girl shower. And what you do is, like, if you bought her party package, you get all these printables. But what better way to share your love of essential oils and to kind of spread that by, like, that's your party favor when you're hosting something. So this one has 2 different stones in it. And the other one is the baby boy one that has the amethyst and the blue lace agate, which they're just so pretty. I just love these. So just wanted to show you, those were some of the places on my site where you can get some gemstones. So those are under the Let's Party. But you can always find all the basic ones right here under gemstones. So I'm going to go back to Allie now. Stop that. And I got to remember how to get you on here, Allie. I'm sorry. Here it is. Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that delay, guys.
Yeah, this can be a little confusing trying to do all of that. So I love your stuff. I mean, it is such high quality. I love pretty, and I like products that aren't going to hurt my health. So yeah, I just cannot say enough about how open you have been and how proactive you have been, because I can count on no fingers the other companies that have done that. Seriously, no other company. So this is why I am such a fan of Rebecca, and any opportunity I get, I am telling everybody about her company, because I want you to thrive. And I know you're going to even come up with more creations, and I have a couple of ideas that I want to share with you later. So, so yeah, I mean, we just get so creative, we can't help it. We're surrounded by all these oils and crystals. That's what happens.
Yep.
So, all right. So the moral of the story is, just because a business sells a product doesn't mean it's safe. You really have to trust them and know them. And I've really learned that, and Rebecca has learned that, and now, you know, we're sharing that with you. So, but one thing that I want to give you all that is not in the book. Okay, I'm giving you guys something special, because in the book, what I do is, if you are familiar with the chakras in the body, these are the energy centers. I break down the chakras and I tell you what crystals and what single oils you can use. So I realize that there's people using oils from all different brands. I use Young Living. I cannot mention Young Living or their trademarked blends in their book, in my book, without their permission, and permission costs a lot of money. So I only talk about single oils like frankincense, lavender, lemon. Tonight, you guys are getting blends. Okay, so here we go. I want to give you this real quick. So with the root chakra, this is all about security and belonging. So it's all about feeling peaceful, protected, and safe. The crystals, don't ask me what crystals, you got to get the book, and you got to get Rebecca's roller bottles. But the crystals you're going to use are brown or red, not any brown or red. That's why you got to learn this. You got to get the book, you got to get Rebecca's roller bottles. But brown or red crystals, but there are your blends from Young Living. Now, if you're here from another company, because I don't use any other blends, I'm not able to help with that. But in the book, I give you the single oils. For example, black spruce is a root chakra oil. But in the Young Living blends, Exodus 2, grounding, release, sacred mountain, Sarah, and Valor. You can blend them with a brown or a red crystal, and it's going to help feel peaceful and protected and safe and secure, and belong, like you belong in your community, you belong in this world. All right, let's go to the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is right below the belly button. And this is your creative and your inspiration area. And it's where you really have a passion for life. You get excited about stuff. Like Rebecca and I get so excited. I can't even imagine what her to-do list looks like. I know mine is overwhelming because we get so excited. That's what the sacral chakra is all about. So you're going to use orange crystals, not any orange crystals. Get the book, look at what Rebecca has. But here are your blends. Look at what you got there. Abundance, Christmas spirit, inner child, inspiration, into the future, motivation, sensation. These all help you to embrace the passion that you have for life. So here's the thing. In my book, I even give you an affirmation. I embrace the passion that I have for life. So I'm giving you crystals and oils and affirmations, and now you know how to put these together and use them. Solar plexus, this is your stomach. This is your power center. So this is also where you get energy, like good energy throughout the day. So yellow crystals. Yellow is what resonates with the solar plexus. And so when you want to feel strong and brave and all is well, yellow crystals, and look at the long list of Young Living blends. Acceptance, citrus fresh, common sense, highest potential, hope, humility, magnifier purpose, peace and calming, present time, release, surrender, thieves, transformation. All amazing for the solar plexus. And you get an affirmation that you can say. Heart chakra, this is your unconditional love center. This is where you have joy in your life, self-love, love of others. Oh gosh, we need that right now, right? We need that. We need love of others. So we're looking at pink or green crystals, and the blends that you can use are believe, forgiveness, gratitude, or joy. For your throat chakra, this is where authentic communication comes from. This is where you can speak and people will be able to hear you. It's where you can speak authentically, even if it's a difficult conversation, and they will be able to hear you. If people shut down because you're screaming at them or you're just not in a good energy space, something's wrong with your throat chakra. So you want to use blue crystals, and the two blends that are perfect, Australian blue and Dreamcatcher. And so you'll be able to communicate authentically and make the world a better place through your words. Words matter. My friend Amy, who has a social media marketing business, that's her hashtag. Words matter. They really do. All right, let's go to the third eye. This is your forehead. This is where you have clear thinking. You have vision. You have intuition that you trust. Your intuition is never wrong. Never. Most people don't listen to it. This is going to help you. Your purple crystals are going to help with that. And blends like Awaken, Clarity, Envision, White Angelica. Put them together and you will be receptive to knowing, like to knowing the right answers, knowing what to do. And then last but not least, your crown chakra right at the top of your head. This is where you manifest. This is where you connect with God, with spirit, with your higher self. White crystals. This is what you're going to use. Not all white crystals. Very special white crystals. And your blends that are not in the book are Abundance, Gathering, Higher Unity, Sacred Angel, my absolute favorite, Three Wise Men, and The Gift. And it gets you to a space where you resonate, I am that I am, which is one of the most healing and spiritually connected mantras you can say. I am that I am. All right, so before I flip it back to Rebecca, I'm giving you a 10% discount on the oily crystal, or if you want to get the bundle, if you also want the oily pet, you can get a bundle on my website. It's at manifestedharmony.com. Type in the coupon code area, type in safe crystals, safe crystals. So you can get a 10% discount on one book or the bundle. If you buy in bulk, you can get up to a 30% discount, because I wrote these books so that you can actually teach others. You can literally read from it. You don't have to know a darn thing. You can read from it. You can hand it out to people. It is brand neutral. It's easy for people to receive it. So the more you buy, the more of a discount that you get. But in the book, I go deeper into the frequencies. I help you understand the science and how crystals really work and how essential oils really work with the body, how to blend them. I give you 12 recipes for people and 9 recipes for pets, because animals are my people and cats are my people. So I give you my favorite oily crystal blends for people and pets, and free shipping if you live here in the United States. And I can quote for international shipping. So, okay, Rebecca, do you, oh, let me end with this. I teach all of my crystal classes now online. I am here in Lansing, Michigan, the mid-Michigan area. I have in-person classes, but I took all of my classes online. I have a full day basic class. I have a full day animal class and a 2-day advanced class. I give certifications. I have 3 certifications I can offer. So check my website if you're interested. I actually have classes forming starting next weekend, and registration starts cutting off this Friday. So if you're interested and you're like, I really need to know more about this, check them out. Okay, Rebecca, do you want to talk about what you're offering to everybody?
I'm doing the same thing. So use the same code, Safe Crystals, and it's 10% off gemstone rollers. Actually, just everything on my website. I showed you one category, but I have a lot of stuff because I love creating, and you'll find a lot of things on there. So yeah, I want you to go have fun, shop. I'm so grateful to Allie for making me do this because I kept putting her off for so long. But she was really, what a wonderful presentation. And I read her book. I learned so much in that, and then just listening to her again tonight. So yeah, I definitely go sign up for one of those classes. I keep saying I'm doing one, and I think I'm going to do the February 20th. She's got the beginner one. I kept putting it off because I had a baby, but now my baby's old enough. So maybe if anybody wants to do that, we'll be in there together. It's the online one. I want to keep learning from her because she's such a great teacher. I really enjoy this. So yeah, Safe Crystals, it's 10% off on both of our websites. It's good through Thursday at midnight. So you got tonight, tomorrow, and another day on top of that. And then if you guys have any other questions, we tried to get some of them in the chat. Feel free to email. I mean, you can contact me through my website or on Facebook. I have Silver Orange Boutique Facebook page. I have a Silver Orange Boutique on Instagram. You can email me, Rebecca@silverorangeboutique.com. It's like almost too much ways to get involved with people. Sometimes I read a message and I go, where? I don't even remember where to reply to that at. And I have to go through all these social media accounts. But yeah, ask us questions. We're here to help you guys. And I'm not the expert in it. Allie's definitely the expert. I've enjoyed learning from her, but I feel like I'm the expert in making pretty things for you to use with all the knowledge you get from Allie. So anyway, thanks, Allie. Thanks for inviting me to do this with you. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Because without the pretty things, it's something would be missing. And thank you for putting these together. And because with the education and the tools, people can actually do this. And it is amazing. When you start learning about crystals, I will tell you, these ain't your mama's crystals. These are not some woo-woo little crystal. They can be. Oh, this lawyer can go full on woo-woo with the crystals. But when you really deeply understand how they work, it will dramatically change your world. Dramatically. You will see wellness and health in a whole new perspective. And then when you put the essential oils in, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And this is why both of us are so passionate about this, because we live in a world where we want to stay as well as we can. So thank you for joining in. And yeah, so, use our coupon code. Oh, by the way, coupon code's only available until the end of Thursday. So what's today, Tuesday?
Yep.
So you got tonight, you got tomorrow, you got Thursday. So chop, chop, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, crystals come deep from Mother Earth. They have the DNA of the earth, just like the essential oils have the DNA of the plants, which have the DNA of the earth. The earth is one of the most healing things in our world, literally. Why not tap into it in 2 different ways and put them together? So let's see, we have a question here. Do you offer any way to print out the oil blend info? Well, I mean, you have to get the book. It's in there. You can't copy it and share it online. But everything is in the book. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. Rebecca, Susan's got a question about mixing organic flowers with the crystals and the oils.
I did a quick response to that above. Basically, my answer was you're kind of creating an infusion with the botanicals, but since these are dried flowers, I haven't been really been able to find information on how much of that is actually going into your oils. So it's a slight infusion. It might scent it a little bit. Some of the dried organics don't have much of a smell. So for me, I use them knowing that there's something really beautiful and they make me feel special using them again. But I feel like if they are infusing into that, it's just an extra bonus to me. And I found absolutely no information that said in any way that there's any dangerous or toxicity in them like there is in the crystals. I mean, you're not going to find a poison ivy rollerball for me. So it might be, but yeah, again, it's something I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get into that information. This really is kind of a newer art science area of blending things with your oils that aren't oils. So the botanicals, very new. Again, everybody's been using those. You find those in soaps and things for years, and bath bombs and things for your tub. So that's kind of where I'm going with that is, again, sourcing only reputable companies with truly organic, certified organics. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. If anybody has more information or they want to teach me something about that, I'm super happy to hear it. So reach out to me, please.
Yeah, and I see some questions about you. You wanted me to go back to the oil blends that I talked about. I'm going to email you all a recording of this, so you can go back and you can watch it at your leisure. And I have been live streaming this on the Manifested Harmony Facebook page, so it's also there. So just stay tuned. I'm going to send an email. You're going to get that recording. Just make sure it doesn't go to your spam. Because there were over 150 people that registered for this. So it's going to take me a while to get this out to everybody. So yeah, you're going to get a recording of this. So, okay, I think we are good. Thank you so much for all of you taking time out of your Tuesday night. And good thing The Bachelor wasn't on tonight, because I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be watching The Bachelor, just to be honest with you. So thank you, Rebecca, for being here. And I know we're gonna do these again, so don't feel like this was a one-time thing. So Rebecca and I, we talk frequently, and we are really collaborating on this. So stay tuned. All right, bye everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks. Good night.